We are now part of the award-winning Walking Dead cast.
That's awesome.
Okay, so episode. Here I go again. Issue 119 of The Walking Dead. We've got an exciting episode for you tonight. We've got our top 3 for the issue. We're going to have some predictions, which we'll save for the letters because thankfully all of you took us to heart and sent in a lot of great emails to Jason and Karen. And they forwarded that on to us as in addition to the fact that we now have our own email at comics@walkingdeadcast.com. So thank you everybody who who wrote in, and we even have a voicemail. So very excited about that. What are your thoughts on the issue?
Okay, I thought it was excellent. I mean, for me, like the pacing was just right. It was superb. You know, we had it was kind of heavy in the beginning, and then we had all the surprises at the end. I loved it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. So is this what, number 5 or 6 in the All Out War series now? Where are we at on this?
This is 5.
This is number 5. So wow. So we're not even halfway through with All Out War yet. And things are getting exciting. There's a lot of things going on. So why don't we go ahead and kick into our top 3?
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. My number 3, I put Man Tears.
Man Tears.
Man Tears. Because I think Negan was right when he said that man tears were the saddest shit on earth. Because, you know how I am, if the story can evoke some kind of emotion in me and can make the characters feel real, I just love it. And I thought this issue, we had 3 really great scenes. And we had, first we had Aaron, and he was sitting on the bed of the truck and holding Eric's hand. Yeah. And they had that angry tears running down his face. And then we had Ezekiel, and he was totally broken and coming apart. And I'm kind of skipping the Michonne's reaction right now, but
sure. Well, I'm sure we'll cover that later.
And then Heath and Aaron, I just love that one. They were back in Aaron's empty house, and by this time I was actually crying. Aww. And I still can't look at that panel of Heath hugging Aaron without kind of tearing up. And I shouldn't say it, but Heath is now my new favorite.
Really?
And that might, I don't know. I'm worried I shouldn't say that, but.
Well, because he'll die next issue. I mean, now that you've said that, he's going to die.
I think I'm going to jinx it.
Rest in peace.
It was nice knowing you, Heath. But I just love that scene so much. And, I thought Aaron was so great with this little joke. When Heath couldn't quite find the right words, he's like, "What? Yeah, the last 2 gay men on Earth." And, and that was so sweet in the hug. And I just loved it. That was great.
Man Tears. I gotta say, nice callback with Negan's description of Man Tears being the saddest thing. Love it. Well done. Are you done with that one? Or?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, my number 3, Rick and Jesus. I loved that conversation they had, specifically Jesus commenting on the zombies laughing at them. And the thing that I like so much about it is, speaking of callbacks, is this I felt was very much a parallel to 2 previous conversations that happened in the series before, both of which were in the prison. The one that first came to mind was Axel and Herschel, and Axel asking Herschel whether or not he thinks about them often. What are they thinking about? What did they do before? And Herschel specifically saying, like Rick, I try not to think about it. The other parallel conversation was with Carl and Sophia, and Sophia saying that they look sad. Now, I love it that she saw sadness and Jesus is seeing them laughing at him. And something about that conversation, the way it was, even with Rick saying, Jesus, come walk with me, walk and talk with me. They were kind of conducting business. I love that. And it shows, again, that parallel that I think is on a lot of the people's minds who live in this existence of the zombie apocalypse, wondering what is going through the minds of the zombies. What are they doing? We assume it's just mindless nothing, but Jesus' interpretation that they are laughing. It's like this mockery that they are killing people, making it easier for them, that they are truly winning. I love that. Thought that was a great little scene between those two the 2 badasses,
Yeah, I like that scene too, and I love how the parallels you brought out from before. That was great. I hadn't thought about it that way before. That's really cool.
Cool. Blake, you're number 2.
I put the art again. I mean, I hate to keep bringing it up, but this time specifically the facial expressions and the body language. And I found myself like really looking at the individual panels, especially on my second read through. And like I just felt the characters' feelings were expressed so well, like through the art in this issue, that I almost felt we didn't even need the words in some of the parts. You know, I mean, you could see the steely resolve, or the anger, or the defeat, or the shock or surprise, and you know, I just thought that was great, and I really liked that, and also just, you know, with the art as well, but kind of on a different note, a couple of the panels I really liked was that one kaboom where the glass is shattering. Yeah. I just thought that was just so great. And the one below it where Michonne and Rick are getting up off the floor, and then that one with Negan on the hood of the truck.
Yeah.
And he just looks so imposing. And, you know, just that oh shit moment.
Well, I think it does speak to, I mean, how often that we keep bringing up the art, and how many of, you know, I think we'll talk about this later in our listeners' moans, groans, and grunts, because some people mention this as well in the emails. Whatever's going on with Adlard and this Stefano Gardino, this is working, and I really hope they keep going with this even beyond this one 12-issue arc, because it just seems to be working, and I do think the art for this arc has been the best that the series has had, period. I mean, it's been phenomenal. And you're right. Every one of those panels you mentioned, I did happen to have the book open to those pages of the boom and Rick getting off the floor, or on the floor. And they are fantastic. And then you flip the page and boom, there's Negan standing on that truck with his grenade belt. It's just fucking badass. Yeah, I agree. It's just absolutely fantastic, and I hope they keep up with it. I think it's fantastic.
I do too.
My number 2, Aaron's 2 scenes. I think Aaron, he's been stealing the show lately. You know, he has. He really has been, and he got some short shift, you know, over the course of the time in the Alexandria safe zone, but he's coming into his own right now. I think he is becoming a fan favorite at this point. And his 2 scenes, the first one with Rick that you already mentioned, and then the other one again with Heath that you also mentioned, really strong scenes. And somehow he is kind of hitting the emotional core of what The Walking Dead is at this point. You know, it's this mixture of love and just vitriolic anger at everything going on. And if you go back a little bit to where he was before this war started off, and before Negan, where he was telling Douglas that he was done, he was no longer going to be going out, he just wanted to be safe and to be comfortable, and to now have all of that safety and all of that comfortable pulled out from under him with the death of Eric, has given him this steely resolve that's just like, right on, you know, I don't know, I'm so pleased with what they're doing with Aaron. And he's becoming one hell of a major character in the series. I'm really happy about that. So
he is, and you know, easily he could focus his anger on Rick, but instead, you know, he's put it where I feel is the right place, and focusing on Negan, and you know,
yeah. No, he's not putting any of it on Rick, and I do love that. He seems to understand, like, look, we've asked Rick to be in this leadership position. This is the consequences, so we're going to deal with that. I mean, he rallied behind Rick early on. He was the champion for Rick going into the Alexandria safe zone with Douglas to begin with, saying these are good people, and he's sticking with that. He's one of the characters that does not seem to be wishy-washy or flipping around on how he behaves. He's very consistent, and I love that. He's become a great character. So
I do too. I got chills a second ago.
you just condemned Heath. I just condemned Eric. So there you go.
Oh no.
We'll see. What's your number 1? I think we're already there. We're plowing through this.
We are. We're going fast. My number 1 was the tease at the end of the tease for the little cliffhanger for next issue.
Yeah.
You know, we got some people were calling it the zombie Trojan horse.
Nice. Yeah.
But, I have to say,
Trojan
I was really what now?
It's the Trojan Holly.
Yeah. I was really surprised to see Holly there. That was a very shocking moment for me. Now, unfortunately, I did suspect that Holly was a zombie under there, and maybe it's because I wasn't, I'm not very imaginative at times, and even though I think some people were predicting that Negan was going to torture Holly and maybe iron her face, or, they kind of wanted to see that a little bit. I don't know. But that those things didn't come to my mind. But still, I was, even though I thought, oh, I bet she's a zombie under there, I was still like kind of terrified to turn the page after that panel of Denise,
Sure.
When she's about to remove the hood from Holly's head. I just thought that was, and then the attack. I just thought that was a great tease for the next issue. Well, and Denise, getting bitten, obviously, oh my goodness.
I got to admit, I had no clue. That just blew me away. I had no idea. I had no suspicion that they had turned her into a zombie. I was thinking that she had her tongue removed, maybe, or had some horrible disfigurement, maybe lips sewn together. I mean, it's Negan. He could have done all sorts of weird shit. Who knows? I didn't expect the zombie, and I have my
and I think a lot of people didn't. I think it was a pretty balanced thing. I mean, I think a lot of people were shocked as well.
I mean, I got to admit, I have a couple of problems with it. With that aspect of it in particular. Okay, with the Holly as zombie, the way she walked directly towards them, the way it was like on command, okay, now you go. It just, I don't know. I don't
have to suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Exactly. I really had to. I think it was a great reveal. I loved it. I think it was like, oh my God, that was great. It's a phenomenal thing. But at the same time, thinking, that's not how a zombie would behave.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they should have had, because they had the saviors kind of holding her and kind of pushing her along.
Yeah.
And maybe they should have done that just a little bit longer, and it would have been more believable.
Maybe,
and, I know people
Rick saying, just follow my voice, and these kind of. And then, speaking of callbacks, what it reminded me of very specifically was from the show of the Michonne taking the hood off of Penny.
Yes,
it was almost the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, art imitating life or book imitating show, however you want to look at it, I think there's some bleed going in on this, and maybe Kirkman said, "Oh, I like that, so we're going to go ahead and use that." But that was very much the Michonne Penny moment for me. It was like, oh, okay, they're doing that. But that was absolutely a fantastic thing. My number one is also Negan's attack, just in general, beginning with him showing up with the grenade, which I thought was phenomenal, because they were talking about how, okay, they may have a supply of ammunition, but they've got to be running out. I don't think they actually thought about munitions, actual, grenades and bombs and these kinds of things. And we haven't really seen anything like that in the series that I can recall, other than the tank, which the governor couldn't use, and a few other things. I think they did have some grenades at some point. I forget when, maybe in the prison when they went through the armory, or no, the National Guard thing. This is all going back to the prison in Woodbury. To see grenades show up now is kind of like, oh, wow, okay, that's kind of awesome. And in that image, that one panel with Negan standing on the truck and doing his thing, he on his belt, there's at least 3 or 4 grenades on there as well. So it's like, okay, they do have more. It's just not one thing.
Oh, wow. See, I totally missed the grenades on his belt.
Oh, I love
as much
that.
As I love that panel, totally missed that.
Oh, that I don't know why it just caught my eye, and I think it was just like, that's badass. I mean, here's this guy standing there.
Yeah.
And now I am looking at, he's got a grenade in one hand.
Yes,
Lucille
and then 3 on his belt.
3 on his belt, knife on the belt, Lord knows what else. And you can see Dwight is just right off in the front, so he's still like a top lieutenant, even though he's maybe a mole, who knows. It just that and the way he sets this up, and the fact that Rick had even predicted and Jesus predicted about how, all right, so the people that Ezekiel lost to got there, they cleaned out the zombies, he'll be on his way here, and then before he's even done with the sentence, bam, he shows up. I don't know if that speaks more to Negan's efficiency or Rick's understanding of the situation. I think it just speaks to both, that these are two equally matched individuals. And that entire attack, although predictable in many ways, was still very effective because we've never seen a grenade attack. And the fact that he was getting really pissed that Rick just wouldn't come out and talk, and then leading up to the Holly thing. And the question I did even ask you beforehand was, did Rick get that gate closed? And I'm looking at it. It looks like he did get the gate closed.
Yeah, I looked again, and I agree. I think he did get it closed.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's locked. So it might be easy just to reopen it or just shoot through the gate. I mean, they can jump. I don't know. I'm sure they can jump over it or something. Negan's on a freaking truck. They could probably do a lot of things, or just drive through it at this point.
It's a pretty big truck.
They don't need the town. They don't need Alexandria. And then that, as you just pointed, attack. Oh, that was. What a cliffhanger. So issue 120 is just going to be like, what's going to happen?
And I'm so thankful that we only have 2 weeks to wait, because
that would be,
otherwise it would be so hard.
It would be horrendous. It would be horrendous. So that's my number one. And we just plowed through our top three pretty quick. There were some things about this issue that I wasn't crazy about. Now I'm going to go ahead and address it. Well, no, I may wait for listener moans, groans, and grunts, because some people bring this up as a positive. I found it as a negative, but we'll
let's wait then.
And the same thing with predictions. As we mentioned before, I don't see a point in going on predictions at this point, because we did get so much mail. People are asking us about our thoughts on this and that. So, let's give our predictions there. What do you think?
Okay, sounds good.
So let's move on to listeners' moans, groans, and grunts. Okay, so our first email comes from Jordan Kill. Hey there, this is Jordan Kill from Lima, Ohio. Just wanted to let Mr. Blog, Grace, and Jason know that I've been loving the Under the Comic Covers segments, and with the latest comic-only episode, I've got a question to ask. What would you guys think about going back and having a comic-only episode for each of the issues of The Walking Dead, starting with issue 1?
Oh, well, first off, that's very flattering. Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's
awesome. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to rule that out. That's an idea maybe for the future if other people would like that. We also have some other ideas for the future too, but we'll definitely keep that in mind.
Well,
what do you think, Mr. Blog?
I think it would make our predictions. It would make that segment of the cast really easy. And
we would be so spot on.
We really would be. We would look like Nostradamus or something. It would be pretty awesome. So, Nostradamus of The Walking Dead. It would be wonderful. I'd say the governor dies in the prison by a woman named Lily. See, I mean, it would work so well. So, I don't know about that one. I appreciate it, Jordan, and thank you so much for the compliment. It warms the cockles of our hearts. But I don't know about going back to issue 1, man. We're talking, that'd be 115 some odd episodes that we'd do. Although that would be the definitive Walking Dead podcast, I would say. We cover everything. But no. It's not going to happen. We do have some other plans in mind, but I don't think going back to that is too much of an option. Next one.
Okay. This one is from Zachary Murdoch. Hey guys, what do you think of Stefano Gaudiano's inks on this arc? I believe that sometimes they look great, mostly in larger panels, and sometimes they look weird. What do you think?
Yes and yes. That's what I think. I think that they do look great, mostly in larger panels, and as we already talked about earlier, even in the smaller ones, I think they're phenomenal. And sometimes they do look weird, and I can honestly say there's one panel, I would say, in this entire arc so far that has looked really weird.
Is it the Maggie one?
That's exactly it. It's the Maggie one. That one looked wrong. It was just like, you belong to a special school. I don't know what's up with that show. Well, it was a weird one.
I don't know that I can blame that on the inks, though. I mean, I just didn't like that splash at all. I mean, I just thought it was, just like, technically, like there was nothing in the background. I would have much preferred it like a little bit like her big head not being there, so close, and like being a little further away, kind of like Negan was in this panel, and showing some of the crowd around her a little bit.
That was the I Believe in Rick Grimes panel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a cool statement, but it just had a weird visual. And so I agree with you on that one. So yes and yes. Thank you, Zach.
Yes and yes. Thank you.
Very awesome. The next one from Keith Ripley. Hey, I really enjoyed your podcast for issue 118. I have 2 questions. The first one being, how do you guys think Andrea would react if Rick told her that Carl had killed Ben? Second one is, how do you feel about there being so many minor characters around? In the days of the prison, besides Patricia and the twins, I felt like every character had development and was interesting, or at least always had some lingering plot line. Nowadays, with characters like Heath or Denise, it feels like there isn't much going on with them, and they don't really have too much of a personality. There are exceptions like Holly and Nicholas, but I really feel like Kirkman has sacrificed quality for quantity. In this new cast, and the story has become too focused around the main group of Andrea, Rick, Carl, and Michonne. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? Let's take number 1. Okay.
Okay. In regard to Andrea, I really thought they were going to bring that whole issue up when Carl was having his amnesia issues.
Yeah.
After he was
almost
shot.
Slipped. Yeah. Rick almost slipped and said it. Yeah.
But with Andrea, I think. Andrea, and I think maybe to extent most everybody, if they're going to be able to survive in the situation they're in, that they are really good at compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
Like Andrea Morndale, and she went through that, and then she was like, wait, I got to put this away, and she put it in a box. And I think that's probably what she's done with Ben as well. But I think probably if she found out, at least, my opinion, I think she would, if that box was just like popped open suddenly, I think she would be mad initially, with Rick essentially lying to her.
Yeah.
I think she would probably react severely.
Yeah, see, and that's, I think she would, I do think she would react very poorly at the beginning, and she would be mad at Rick. I don't think she'd be mad at Carl. I think she would understand to a certain degree, but that would be a weird one.
But I think she does. I think she does. Care for both of them, and so I think eventually, she'd get over it.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think it would have long-term ramifications. I don't know. That's just my feeling, but she was pretty. The whole idea of murdering the kids when Abe brought it up in the first place, she did not care for that idea too much. So I think she would.
Well, no, both she and Dale absolutely flipped out on that one. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the second question about there being so many minor characters around who are not as well developed. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, before this arc, I really would completely agree with that. But I think Kirkman kind of knows he dropped the ball on the whole.
Really, you think? Okay.
That whole, I think he does. Some of the letter hacks and stuff like that. But with this arc, I really feel like we are getting to know these characters and the more secondary characters, and I think he's been doing a really good job. Since 115. But before that, definitely.
That's funny. Okay, this is going to be one of those rare moments where I actually somewhat disagree.
Okay.
I think it's important that we have a lot of minor characters that don't have strong character development, because in real life, the larger a society grows, the less you're going to know everybody there. Mm-hmm. This story is focused on that core group of Andrea, Rick, Carl, and Michonne, and some of the others. And there are a few from the Alexandria Safe Zone that we have gotten to know, such as Heath and Holly and Nicholas and Denise and Aaron and Eric and some of these other people, or Jesus, for instance, who's come in. And I think a lot of that has to do with the moment it kicked into the story arc of a larger world. And I think that was key, is that this is now becoming a larger world. It is no longer this tiny little core group of survivors. It's become something bigger, and it is the beginnings of a new society, the beginnings of a new civilization. So you're not going to be able to focus on everybody. And we could easily say the entire focus of the whole series for 119 episodes have been Rick and Carl and Andrea, and then eventually Michonne. Mm-hmm. It is now expanding, and there are other characters some we're not going to care about, some that are going to work better than others. I mean, for a while, we really thought, what was his name, Spencer? We thought he was going to become a bit more of a major character, and he had a couple of good little moments, and then it got gutted. I mean,
right.
Dale was huge, and then Dale died. I mean, and in this world, people die, they come, they go. Whatever happened to the priest? He's gone.
I haven't seen Father Gabriel. I don't know where he is. He's hiding out again.
He's in church.
I feel with Spencer and with Dale, they were very well developed. We knew them. We knew those characters when they died. And
Spencer is a weird example because in a way, I don't think Kirkman even knew what to do with him, because at first it was like, oh, he might be a love interest for Andrea. Oh, he's Douglas's son. He's got some issues with his mom, blah, blah, blah. And then it became he's against Rick. And then it just seemed that I almost felt like they didn't know what to do with him. So they just gutted him.
Contrived for you?
Maybe. I don't know. But I think there are now too many characters in this larger world for us to focus on all of them, and
I don't know. I mean, I do think we need to know them a little bit before they die, or we're just not going to care and it's not going to have an impact.
Sure. Like, we don't know Richard. Who the hell was Richard? Suddenly we're supposed to care about him because Ezekiel's crying over Richard. We never once heard word, but we don't know anything about the kingdom beyond Ezekiel and Shiva.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that is a fault. I don't know.
But I think after this arc, we're not going to really have to worry about that for a while. I think we're going to be cutting down a lot of characters.
I think the kingdom is down to a fiefdom at this point. I think it's pretty small, so we'll see. All right, so Grace, you've got a big email here to read. Go for it.
Okay, this one is from Mick from the We're Alive Fancast. Gracie Lou and Mr. Blog 2. I'm just going to get right into it. Aaron was already pretty awesome, especially since he snuck up on Rick and his group while they were on the road, but I can't wait to see what they do with him now. I really like what they are trying to do with Ezekiel, but I have a minor problem with the setup. Kirkman is trying to tell us that Ezekiel is so bothered by losing these close members of his group, which understandably is like family, which is fine, except that he's saying that he hasn't lost anyone close to him since the beginning. This I find incredibly hard to believe. So basically, if we were to follow Ezekiel's story, everyone with him would be perfectly safe? Okay, so he says that he stayed away from the people and Richard was his eyes and ears. It's just not possible that he made it this far without growing relationships and losing people. Not a big problem, but it certainly set up what we knew had to be coming from Miss Mishasam. What an ending. As always, amazing. I thought she was going to be bombed. Oh, he's talking about Holly that hooked up with bombs. Or be one of the saviors dressed as a woman. The twist followed by the attack was a great plan. Rest in peace, Holly. And Dr. Cloyd? Let's answer a little bit of that and then we'll come back to the rest of it.
Yeah, cool. All right. First
Ezekiel, do you want to hit on that? I mean, I feel that it's not out of the ordinary that he didn't lose anyone close to him. I kind of, in my mind, he was sort of like a Michonne where he was just out there on his own. Michonne was out there on her own with her pets, and Ezekiel was out there with Shiva the tiger.
His story didn't really bother me, honestly. Okay, I guess we might as well get into this a little bit now. I know a lot of people love what Michonne did as far as not punching him square in the jaw because he showed emotion or because he has a problem with what's going on. That bugged me. Ezekiel just watched so many of his people dying because he does not know how to be a wartime leader, so to speak. Mm-hmm. He was kind of thrust into this situation for whatever reason. We don't know the whole backstory of the kingdom. He's not Rick. He hasn't gone through what Rick has gone through, that we've gone through with The Walking Dead. So it's real easy for us or Michonne to call this guy a pussy. But it's like, look, he just went through a very traumatic experience and lost a major battle. I did feel for him. Now, at the same time, I also felt like, didn't we just cover this in the last issue? Mm-hmm. With him getting upset about it? I felt it was a little redundant. And honestly, Michonne punching him kind of pissed me off because I thought she would have maybe I don't know, lightened up a little bit after having to explain to Morgan that she was so sorry about being such a bitch to him right as the poor guy was dying, that she had maybe, I don't know.
She would soften up a bit?
A little bit. And she even did the same damn thing with Rick when Rick freaked out with Jesse's husband. And she said, I don't know what you're going through, but get your shit together. They gotta, I don't know. I feel like they use Michonne when you need somebody to just like tell the hard, tough love truth. Throw Michonne out there. So boom, she'll punch somebody in the face. But it's like, it just feels a little too one-dimensional for the character, that maybe she would soften up a little bit. And we haven't really seen any anger with her towards Ezekiel in the way that we saw in this one. So it felt a little tonally off for me. So as far as him being upset that he's lost people and admitting that he hasn't really lost anybody he cared about up until this point, well, shit, why can't that be the case? Why can't it be? Sure, it's been a couple of years of this crap, but if he didn't have anybody that close to him, and if the kingdom had been protected by Negan from this whole time, there would have been no reason for him to go through all that stuff, So, I don't know. Sorry, I'm going off on a rant here, but the whole Ezekiel Michonne thing, I know a lot of people really love what Michonne did, and frankly, I'm like, no. What was wrong with Ezekiel just expressing how he felt about what was going on? I don't think there was anything wrong with one day after watching your best friend die in front of you and all but 5 of your people survive,
Yeah, and I mean, I'm with you there. I think a lot of people will disagree. I think a lot of people really, really like that moment, but
they did. No,
I think I was feeling so much empathy for Ezekiel at that moment that I was really shocked when Michonne punched him. I don't know if that's really answering the question, but I don't.
Well, I don't think. But even as he said, certainly set up what we all know had to be coming from Miss Awesome, which I got to say, Miss Awesome's pretty Miss Awesome. I like that. That's good, but.
Okay, should we go on with the rest of his letter?
Well, then there was there was something else here about what we thought about what Holly was. I did think she had her tongue ripped out. I like that he mentioned that she was going to be bombed. I thought that as well. Maybe they had strapped a bomb to her, which that would have been a good idea. Quite frankly, I mean, if they had walked in there with some dynamite on her, boom. They would have taken out Rick. They would have taken out Denise. I mean, that's their one doctor. They could have taken out a lot of people. And it was a great plan. So, okay, go on with Mick's email there.
Okay. The next part. Let's predict who dies in this all-out war, and especially pick if you think Negan will survive. I hope he does. Oh, and you must pick at least one person. Not that I really want anyone to die. I guess I'm going to pick. This is really hard. I picked Denise. Yeah. Okay, just kidding. Hopefully they can amputate in time. He goes on to say, I have no idea, but I'll just guess Aaron. I say Rick and Carl live, really going out there on a limb there, but I have a friend who says Rick dies and Negan lives. I only say that because it would be normal to totally expect him to die. Thanks for the show. It's a lot of fun and helps enhance The Walking Dead experience. Thanks, Mick.
That was awesome.
Let's see.
And I got to say, just for the record, I want everybody to know, this is actually the second email that Mick sent us this week. We chose to read this one. It was a little more current. And, Mick, awesome. Thank you. And very cool. Again, very cool. Go for it.
Okay, so what are your predictions? I mean, I don't think Negan will live. That was one of the questions.
Yeah.
Do you want to go with do you want to throw out some predictions on who's going to die, or do you want me to go first?
No, I'll go ahead and take it. I hate to do these kind of very specific predictions when it comes to who's going to die, because it's all up in Kirkman's head. Who the hell knows? He can throw us a curveball at any given time. What do I think would be really badass? I mean, I can't predict, but what did you ever see the movie Excalibur?
No.
Oh my God, great movie. John Boorman, I think 1980, 1981. I don't know. It's one of the rare King Arthur movies that gives you kind of the whole King Arthur mythology all in one big movie. And at the very end of this thing, King Arthur kills his own son, and his own son kills King Arthur. And they both end up killing each other with these big-ass spears. As they come closer to each other, they're both shoving their spear into each other. I'm going to go on a limb and say Rick dies while killing Negan. I say they both die at the same damn time. Yeah, and Carl is going to be raised by Andrea, or alternate, Michonne dies saving Carl, or Carl kills Negan after Negan kills Rick. I think Rick is going down.
You think he's going down so soon? I think
this is so soon. It's 119 issues in. I think it's time. And I think it's time for somebody else to start raising Carl and Carl to rise. And you're going to, first of all, the one thing Mick was asking, do I think Negan is going to die? Yes. Negan will die at the end of this arc. Dwight will come in. Carl will rise. Jesus will become the new leader. Boom. There's my prediction.
Oh, wow. That's a big prediction. That makes my prediction sound like so lame.
No, mine's completely asinine, and it's not going to happen. It's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. But you know what? You asked for a prediction. Damn it, that's what you're getting. Rick and Negan die killing each other.
Well, that's a ballsy prediction. I'm impressed.
If it happens, I'm going to look fucking awesome. If it doesn't, whatever.
Okay, awesome.
I was really, I'm sorry. I think this is my second or third F-bomb in this episode, and I was going to try to go without dropping one, but we're talking Negan here. I can't help it.
Yeah, okay.
Well, did you want to give any predictions?
Okay,
so go for your prediction. I want to hear this.
Okay, my predictions, which sounds totally lame now. I was just going to predict Olivia and Michonne die in the next issue. Those were my predictions.
Okay, all right, yeah. That's really not as ballsy as mine, but okay, fair enough. Olivia, you're right. Olivia. By the way, do you think they're going to lop off Dr. Cloyd's arm fast enough, or is that it for Denise?
I think that's it for Denise.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, with all the attack going on and everything, and she's the doctor, I just don't think they're going to be able to. They might be able to lob it off, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop the bleeding and take care of it in time to save her.
No, fair. And seeing how it's her, that would be the one who would be able to save. It's right. Yeah. I think she's screwed. Okay. Well, we have a couple more things with predictions coming up and another couple of emails. So let's roll. I got the next one here from Jamie Dimmick. What a great issue. Here's a few of my thoughts. The cold look on Rick's face when he says, "Burn it," gives me chills. So well drawn and shaded. I felt so bad for Ezekiel until Michonne came and punched him. She's right. He's a leader and needs to act the part. How did no one notice the zombie Holly in the hood? Come on. These people have all been around zombies for long enough now to be a little cautious with the way it walked and groaned. Thanks for giving me somewhere to share my thoughts. My husband is way behind on reading. Jamie.
Oh, you're welcome, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. That's awesome. We're here for you. That's what we're here for.
And very good points. And I think we touched on how we felt about that.
And that was a really cool that one panel with Rick saying "burn it." I thought that was fascinating because these were people. These weren't zombies. These were people they put into a pile, and he referred to people as it, which shows a very coldness coming from Rick that's a little new.
Very cold and detached.
It's a little new. I mean, these were actual people. So that was pretty badass. And it was very, again, well drawn. We keep doing that.
We keep going back to that, yeah.
And how did Holly walk on command towards them? I agree with you. I'm a little got my issues with that. So
Okay, this one is from Sam Monroe. Now that we have many people with a personal stake in the war, like Aaron, Rick, Carl, Maggie, Sophia, Dwight, and Ezekiel, who do you think will kill Negan by the time this all ends? Who do you want to kill Negan? And 2, do you think the Alexandria safe zone will fall in the next issue and the survivors will have to find a new location? Or do you think that Rick and company will fight them off, with casualties, of course? Sam.
Awesome.
Okay.
First of all, I got to ask, are you related to Jesus? Jesus' real name is Paul Monroe. Is that correct?
Yes, he is, in fact.
So, Sam Monroe, Paul Monroe. Let us know how your brother's doing. As far as how many people the personal stake, blah, 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 who do I want to kill Negan? I just answered that. I say Rick kills Negan as Negan kills Rick. What do you think?
And is that what you want to happen? Or do you?
Honestly,
that's a different question.
Oh no, honestly, I think I do. I think that would just be so badass. I mean, I hate the idea of saying I want to see Rick die, but his story's kind of told.
Okay.
As far as the Alexandria Safe Zone, what do you think?
I don't get to answer the first one. I want to answer the first one. Oh, shit.
I'm sorry. Answer the first one. Sorry. My bad.
Okay. I kind of want Sophia to kill Negan.
Oh,
but
man.
If she can't do it, then I want Maggie to kill Negan. Because, I'm a huge Glenn fan, and I cried for at least 3 days when Glenn died.
Oh,
and so what? I would love for Maggie to have her revenge. And
good call. Yeah,
I would love it.
That's great. Good call. I did not even think of that. That's fantastic. I love that, and I agree. Maggie killing Negan would be amazing. Okay, good on you on that one. What about the Alexandria Safe Zone? What do you think?
I don't know. I can't see it falling so early. I mean, if we didn't know this was a 12-issue arc, then I'd say, yeah, it's falling. But since we're going to only be halfway through next time, I don't think so. I don't know. I would have to say no, that it's not going to fall.
All right.
In issue 6, what do you say?
Since I'm the idiot saying Rick is going to die, I'm also going to go ahead and say yes, it falls in the next issue. I don't think they have enough warriors there behind the walls, and they're going to have to retreat to the kingdoms. And let's face it, the kingdom is empty at this point because everybody's dead, and Ezekiel is going to have to become a true leader and just going to have to rise, and he will become the king. I see. That's what I see.
Wow.
I'm just going for the big predictions today.
Okay. Should we play the call from Cindy?
Absolutely. So our very first call to Under the Comic Covers comes from Cindy Peterson. Take it away.
Exciting.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Hey, Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou. This is Cindy Throck at Cindy Throck, trying for the 4th time to leave you my feedback on issue 119. I overall liked the issue very much. I liked seeing all of the characters back again and together, and I had 4 things that I liked about it. 2 were smaller and 2 were bigger. So the first 2 smaller ones were I liked Rick and Carl's first interaction with each other when Carl was kind of, said people were scared, and Rick said people should have more faith in their father. I just thought that was kind of sweet and touching, and then it moved on. I liked Aaron and Heath's interaction with each other, and it just kind of gave us a little background into Aaron and Eric's, background, and I just thought it was nice. The 2 bigger ones that I really liked was, the first one was when Ezekiel was whining for 2 pages, and I was just kind of like, oh my God, really? I'm glad that you have empathy in all of this, but, buck up. And I turned the page, and Michonne just cracks him across the jaw, and I just laughed out loud for real. And I was like, I guess she was thinking what I was thinking, and she just set him straight. And that entertained me highly. And then obviously, the last one is the ending with Holly. I knew something was going on. I knew something was wrong. I thought maybe they had cut her tongue out or maimed her face somehow. And, the big reveal would happen when Denise takes the hood off, and Rick would be very angry. I don't know why I didn't see this coming, because I completely did not. I was shocked. I was totally shocked. I turned the page. I almost didn't even know what I was seeing, because her eyes were all white, and I was thinking, oh, did they gouge her eyes out? And then I thought, no, her tongue is in her mouth. And then, I quickly saw in the next panel what was really occurring, and my mouth just dropped open, and I was shocked. And I was like, we just lost 2 more females, and I couldn't believe it. But I liked it. I didn't like that they died, but I was just totally like, oh my God, that was amazing. And I hope that they do that somehow in the show too. So overall, I like the whole issue, and I love your spinoff podcast. I love you guys, and you're doing a great job, and I hope to leave more feedback in the future. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Cindy. That's awesome. Thanks. Old Petey.
Thanks. We love you too, Petey.
Okay, so you had 4 points that you loved. You had your small moments, the Rick and Carl moment, which was really quite cool, and then Aaron and Heath, man tears. We've already discussed that. You really liked Michonne clocking Ezekiel. I've already spoken on that. I wasn't as crazy about it as you are, but fair enough. And the whole zombie Holly thing, look, I agree with you. I thought her tongue was gone. That was freaky when you do see her with the whited out eyes. I kind of knew immediately what it was at that point, but no, it was a freaky thing to turn to that page and see that. That was pretty upsetting. But well done, and we really appreciate you calling in, and that was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy.
All right, that's our show, everyone. Episode 129. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to leave us a voice message, you can use the send voicemail button on the right side of the page at walkingdeadcast.com.
Or you can call us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323.
You can write to Under the Comic Covers using our new email address, which is comics@walkingdeadcast.com, or reach Jason and Karen at brains@walkingdeadcast.com.
You can check out our website at walkingdeadcast.com, and don't forget to click through our Amazon link, or just go to walkingdeadcast.com/Amazon whenever you shop at Amazon.com.
You can find the Walking Deadcast on Twitter at Jason and Karen, on Tumblr at walkingdeadcast.tumblr.com, or on Facebook at facebook.com/deadcast. Under the Comic Covers also has its own Twitter account now at UTC Covers. That's UTCCOVERS. So, all right, that's our show.
Thanks for listening. Don't get bit, Derek O'Neill.
The town of Milton may seem normal at first glance, but the shadows are cursed and the expansive woods surrounding town are forbidden. They call it the Void, and nobody comes back alive.
You're headed straight for the Void!
Milton lives suspended in time, trapped by a darkness that seems to be creeping closer and closer.
It's safe. The Void is kept at bay.
Is it, though?
Join three friends as they embark on the